trainers like us, we are outnumbered as far as the desire for instant gratification. I think that is what a lot of the fitness world is right now. How fast we can get you results,
Yeah.
how what's the easier path that we can show you, and we know the easiest way for you to get results with the least amount of work on your part. Those promises of fast results are constantly out there, and when you want results bad enough and you so badly want to look and feel better, like all of us get to from time to time, even the smartest person's judgment can be clouded. And I've fallen for so many scams just because I've fallen in that trap. And there's no shortage of people who will take advantage of that when you're there.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become their favorite versions of themselves and to strive for overall health by healing their relationship to food and exercise, healing their relationship to their body, and most importantly, healing their relationship to themselves, all without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who have been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time someone shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. Can you tell me and the listeners a little bit about who you are and why you think you are who you are?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm Chad Austin. I'm a personal trainer and a fitness author here in Shawnee, Kansas. It's just outside of Kansas City. I've been up here doing this for about 20 years now. So it's been a long time. But I think I've kind of always been attracted to personal training and fitness, I guess, for that matter. I was a teacher for 3 years before I started doing this, but and I thought personal training was just going to be a temporary stop till I found my next teaching job, and just ended up being a better fit. And I think a couple years into training, I realized that I think I've always been attracted to exercise in one way or another, just because it's always been my best medicine. I've had a lot of social
Mm,
anxiety and depression and things like that growing up that I had to navigate through. And I think once you realize what the best medicine for yourself is, it really kind of shines a spotlight on all the things that you're doing that maybe that were the wrong medicine. And that kind of fueled my passion for helping everyone else learn that same thing about themselves. And so I can help people show up as the best version of themselves, whether things are going good or bad in their life, by having fitness being a priority in their life too.
I love that. I know for me, my best medicine is laughing. So,
That's
uh,
a good one too.
yeah. So what do you think it was when it shifted for you in your mind? Like you said, it was just a temporary thing. Um,
Mhm.
when did you know, like, okay, maybe it's not temporary. Maybe teaching in a different way, teaching fitness is for me instead.
Yeah, and I definitely use all my teaching still now. I'm definitely that cliche saying that, once you're a teacher, you're a better student, you're a coach, you're a better athlete. Now you're a personal trainer, you're better at keeping fitness a part of your own life. That definitely fits me to a T. I think I kind of realized that, being an entrepreneur, I was a personal trainer at a gym, so I was an employee for 4 years before I decided to do my own thing and start my own business. And
Mm,
I think just the controlling my own anxiety, controlling my stress, and everything of being having my own business. I think that really helped me learn how important fitness has always been in my own life, and it's life's obstacles and life changes that cause us all to fall off track when it comes to fitness. And I think learning that kind of helped me realize how important it is, not just for me, but for everybody. And I know when I'm taking
yeah.
good care of myself, I am, I'm a better friend. I'm a better husband. I'm a better son. I'm a better creative thinker. I have more confidence. I have more energy. I control my stress, anxiety, and everything better. It overflows into all areas of my life. I can show up to life as the best version of myself. And when the opposite is true and I don't have fitness in my life, I think I'm really the worst version of myself. I don't have the energy. I don't handle my stress and I'm often in a bad mood, which then hurts my relationships. And so it really doesn't matter what the most important things are in your life. I don't believe you'll be able to show up as the best version of yourself for those things if fitness is not a part of your life too. And so I think that going through my own kind of journey really helped me learn that, and helped me make myself a better mentor for my clients in that journey too.
I love that you said, I don't remember if this was the exact words that you used, but we tend to fall off. I'm going to put quotes. We tend to fall off when the obstacles come. And so I think part of what makes a good trainer or coach is teaching our clients that the obstacles and like when life happens and all that, that's part of it. That's not life saying quit. It's life saying keep doing this through the life happening. Because I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of life thrown thrown my way in these last few years.
Hmm.
And it's like this total change in mindset of rather than, oh, this thing happened, now I need to stop. It's I need to do this first so that I can navigate my way through this life happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot like learning that you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, right? And it's that
Mm-hmm.
speech we always hear about whenever we fly somewhere. I definitely learned, in my career that, you know, as a personal trainer, you have a lot of clients that come in and out of your schedule. When you've been a personal trainer for as long as I have, you have some clients that have come in and out of your schedule over a stretch of time where you help them get great results. And then we've had a plan, they've gone on their own. But then after some time comes by, they've come back because they've kind of lost track of their fitness and need some help to kind of get back in shape again and find it again. And you realize that that happens to everybody. I mean, that's happened to myself. And it's because,
Yeah.
and it happens because we're not immune to life's changes. Like when life changes, when we go through the adversity or have some obstacles and things come up in our life, it's like we are very good at adapting to change when it comes to our family, our career, our faith, things like that. But when it comes to our own health, that is always what we put off until later. And it goes back to the saying, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can help other people, because you got to be able to show up as the best version of yourself. And so as a personal
Yeah.
trainer, I feel like my strength now is helping people figure out how fitness fits in their life after life changes have kind of caused them to fall off track. Because that is it's something that sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing for us to realize that as our life changes, the way fitness fits in our life changes as well. And we have to be able to navigate to that. And sometimes we have to be okay, doing less than I did in the past doesn't make it less of a priority now. It just means it fits
Mhm.
differently. But we have to understand that if we want to be able to show up as the best version of ourselves, it's got to be there somewhere. And so I help people figure out how it fits so they can continue to show up as the best version of themselves.
Also, like this a lot of people have it in their heads that the workout has to be one section of time in your day and that's it. And one of the beauties is that if you have like a scheduled strength training session, you can take pieces of it and do a little bit, like you can do your squats here and then do whatever you need to do. And then you can do your deadlifts here and then do whatever you need to do. And you can break it up during the day and it's still just as effective as if you just did it in that one time period that you set aside.
Yeah, and I've learned that is a hard thing for people to really grasp. 'Cause it comes back to how
Mhm.
we can't get past the "I'm too busy" obstacle, right? It's
Mhm.
like whenever we're in our peak condition, we're peak desire for to look and feel better, right? We're ready for change to happen. It's like when we're there, we always think of the last time we got great results or the last time we were in great shape, and whatever we did for our fitness routine at that time, that is what becomes the bar. It's like doing anything less than that is not doing enough. So whatever we did for our workout routine there and whatever we did that helped us for nutrition, that's the bar. And doing anything less is not enough. And we have to get rid of that way of thinking. It's like that is what
Yeah.
everyone gets stuck on. Doing less does not make it less of a priority. And so we have to understand that what we do is going to change. Like even I always pointed out to people that even the best athletes in the world, they go through seasons. They don't work out as hard as they can. They don't work out like professional athletes year round. It comes in seasons for them, and their intensity ebbs and flows of how, and their volume ebbs and flows of how much they do. So they have preseason, they have in season, they have off season, they have breaks as well. And so we need that just as much of how much what we have time for. So for example, someone that has, a really busy job, but it probably goes in seasons. There's times of the year they're busier than others. And so those times of the year, they may not be able to have as much time to work out. Or if they have multiple kids and all of their kids are involved in activities during a certain time of year, if you have a daughter in volleyball and two boys in football, that's part of your job as being a supportive parent. You want to be there. You're going to be there no matter what. You're going to be there to
Yeah.
watch your kids, right? And so that takes away 3 nights a week that maybe you would normally be working out. And so it kind of changes through the seasons. And so if you don't have as much time at that time, that doesn't mean you don't have any time. It just means it's going to look
Mhm.
different for a period of time, and you just have to be able to accept that.
Yeah. And find a way to navigate out of the rigid thinking of like the rules that we've been told of, it has to be this way, right?
Mm.
So I love what you're saying. Um, what do you think, if you have one with your clients, has there been a recurring block, so to speak, or something else that's affecting your client's health other than just the way they move and the way they eat?
Yeah, I think there's several. I think the way they move and the way they eat, and there's several blocks that can come in and kind of become barriers to you on your fitness journey. I think one could be having to change things.
Mhm.
We're creatures of habit, and so we can easily fall in love with one way of doing things, and that's the same way we do it forever. And
Mhm.
and we never change it.
Yeah.
And if the problem is if we don't change it, then the inevitable is going to happen, and the monotony of it is going to get boring, right? And that is the easy way to lose motivation for workout by not changing things. But not only is it going to get boring, so you may be less motivated to do it, and maybe tired of it, but your body will adapt to it too, and then maybe you won't get as much results. And if you're not getting results, you're definitely not gonna want to make the sacrifices and do it, right? And so that could be one.
Yeah.
Not changing up your workouts enough, that can become a barrier for you for lots of different reasons. And then also maybe the is your training should resemble what you're training for. And so that resembles that
Mm.
goes for athletes, and also goes for, no matter what your goal is. If your goal is just, I mean, I have clients that have, a goal for weight loss, I have clients for strength training, I have clients that maybe their goal is to be able to move without pain and do all the daily
Mhm.
function that they used to 10 years ago. But
Yeah.
so each person's workout program would look a lot different. And so is what you're doing, is the training you're doing, is the exercises you're doing, does it fit what your goals are? And so as our goals change, that means what we're doing for our workout changes too. And so, and not doing that, not having the open-mindedness to kind of adapt to those things, whether it be
Mhm.
changing your workout up, and so it just doesn't get boring, or so you don't get used to it too much, or changing things up because your goals change. Those can become roadblocks if we don't change with them.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that because that to me it puts the personal back in personal training. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
like a lot of trainers they have like pre-done meal plans and pre-done workouts, which is fine. But when you try to take the same program and apply it to everybody, it's just not going to work because we're all so different. Um,
Yeah.
and I know that was kind of a weird question that I asked you. It was kind of odd, but it was coming from like looking at all aspects of health, like sleep and mental health, healing your past traumas and, all those kinds of things that can get in our way of maybe even just starting, maybe just picking up the dumbbell for the first time,
Mhm.
right? Or making the call, making the appointment to work with a trainer. Um, so yeah, I know it was
Yeah.
an odd
It is
question, the way
the
I
hard.
worded
Well,
it.
what? Oh, well, no, it wasn't. It just, I mean, the way you said that, right there, it was great. I mean, that sometimes it's the start that stops most of us. And so, I mean, like you said, picking up a
Mhm.
dumbbell, sometimes the heaviest weight in the gym is the front door. So just getting started sometimes is the tough part. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it ended up being a good question because there's somebody in the audience that heard that and and resonated with it for sure.
Right. Yeah. I have one of my clients, she's 71 years old, and I'm teaching her right now how to use a barbell. And right now there's no extra weights on it or anything, but she's like doing deadlifts with my bar is 37 pounds. And she's just like, "Oh my gosh, like I didn't know I could lift this much." I'm like, all you had to do was pick it up for the first time. And so it's really cool to watch somebody
Oh yeah, it's
who
so empowering.
spent their life doing cardio and now they're doing a barbell and they're like feeling like a badass 71 years old. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so empowering. That you know what, so many people's perception. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes out there for personal training. Like I if you when you do this for a long time, you get to help a lot of friends and family. You normally eventually train everybody. So I've been, but for me, the one that probably took the longest to get on board was my dad. The one that let me train him. He's probably the most supportive person in everything I've done in my life, but it was the longest for me to get to train him. And I think the thought was is because when he thought of personal training, he thought of bodybuilding. And it can be for someone his age, like it is for your
Yeah.
client. I mean, being able to do all your daily movements. I mean, I mean, age is just a number, right? You don't stop working out when you get older. You don't have to stop doing anything as you get older. Is when you get older is when you stop working out is when you get older. I think that is what it is. It's like by
Yeah.
keeping doing everything, that is how you can keep yourself young and doing all the movements. But it can mean deadlifting like that, making sure you're able to do all the movements. But like for my dad, it meant being able to keep all his range of motion, be able to have mobility, it wasn't about bodybuilding like he thought. It was about being able to keep all his range of motion and being able to live without pain and being able to be a active grandpa. And so that's always the thing I remind people of. Personal training is different for everybody. Just like your
Mhm.
definition of fitness, everybody's definition of fitness is different as well. And so we just have to find what yours is and go with that.
Yeah. I was just having this conversation. I had another interview about an hour ago, and we were having the conversation of strength training for when you're older because I a lot of people don't realize that when you're building muscle, you're also building bone density. And so the more muscle you have on your body going into your older years, the younger you'll be, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because I think old is in the head. Like just thinking of being old, it's a mental attitude. So, yeah, I kind of
Yeah,
went
I
everywhere
really
with
do.
that sentence.
No, that's good. I recently had saw a post that was brilliant. It was kind of a Mad Libs post, but it was you don't stop blank when you get older. You get older when you stop blank. And it was and so to
Mm,
me, my first exercise or working out was the one. You don't stop working out when you get older. You get older when you stop working out. But then I had other people fill in the blank too, and it was, I mean, just amazing how many things fit that narrative. Whether it be you don't stop having
yeah,
fun when you get older. You get older when you stop having fun, or you don't stop learning when you get older. You get older when you stop learning. There are so many ways that it fits, but
yeah,
but I love the being able to talk to another fitness professional that sees the importance of fitness. It's always we always have this. That's definitely especially with starting at a gym. That's definitely an excuse you hear early on in your career from people a lot, that I'm too old. Is and
yeah,
that's as bad
yeah,
as a doctor telling you can't do something anymore. you know that should
yeah,
never it should never be hold. That should never be heard ever, right? That's why we do fitness, is so we can continue to live life and feel young and be able to do everything we want to do.
yeah. I shared a thing the other day on the gram. It said, "I'm not training for my summer body. I'm training for my old lady body." I was like, yeah, because that whole bones and everything. But I'm gonna take like a hard right. or we can go left, whichever direction you want to go. And I'm wondering if you're open and willing to going deeper into your own story of life, like how you ended up
Mhm.
here now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely started with as an athlete, and so I was always a athlete involved in every sport and everything growing up. And I basically that's how I found myself in college. I wanted to keep competing. That's all I knew. I had no idea anything else I wanted to do. So I was continued to wrestle for several years, and PE it seemed like a smart decision. So I was in PE, and that's what I was getting my degree in, and but I had tons of, I grew up in a really small town, had tons of social anxiety and extreme shyness, I guess. Would be I actually went to, when I was getting ready to student teach and having to get closer to absolutely have to teach my peers. Um, um, I really almost changed my major because I thought I was in over my head at that point. I'm not going to be able to do it. Just the thought of having to get up in front of people and speak. Was impossible. I mean, I remember just the first day of school for me was my least favorite, especially in college, because I would never know if the teacher was going to be the teacher that was going to make me stand up and introduce myself to the rest of the class, right? Just the thought of that would terrify me.
Yeah.
And if I had to do it, I would be a nervous wreck. And so I was about to change my major, and my parents helped me realize that maybe there's something I can do about it. And we went to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with having social anxiety disorder and what they referred to at the time as severe shyness. And I always thought that
Mm,
was funny, but I guess that was actually that's what they referred to it as. And so they had prescribed me Zoloft, and I took Zoloft for at the time, and it worked wonders for me. I was able to actually kind of get over that obstacle of anxiety that I had, and I was able to student teach. I loved student teaching, and I actually became a teacher. And I was a good teacher and coach for several years. And I don't take the medicine anymore, but I know at the time it made all the difference in the world, and I was able to kind of overcome that. But I realized that that's really what I learned so much about myself with exercise and how I kind of came to the conclusion that exercise is my best medicine. And and so that is
mm.
it. That is probably the main story about me. It's the one thing that people don't always realize. I've been a guest on so many podcasts, and I lead boot camps. I've done all this teaching and coaching and everything else. But it was a long journey to get here. And I think exercise what helped me kind of get out of my own way and kind of get out of my comfort zone. And not letting anxiety win so much as far as being able to speak in
Yeah.
front of people and share a message of personal training and fitness. Um, but I think the other thing about me that kind of probably maybe sets me apart of a lot of personal training, we definitely trainers like us, we are outnumbered as far as the desire for instant gratification. I think that is what a lot of the fitness world is right now. How fast we can get you results,
Yeah.
what's the easier path that we can show you, and we know the easiest way for you to get results with the least amount of work on your part. Those promises of fast results are constantly out there, and when you want results bad enough and you so badly want to look and feel better, like all of us get to from time to time, even the smartest person's judgment can be clouded. And I've fallen for so many scams just because I've fallen in that trap. And there's no shortage of people who will take advantage of that when you're there. And so that's one part of my desire to be a trainer. And I think, early on in training, as I said, I was at 24-hour fitness for several years, but before I started my own business. But just learning, the first tough lesson that I'm sure you learned at some point as a personal trainer, that short-term motivation leads to short-term results, right? When you're a personal trainer,
Yeah.
most people that come to you they come to you fueled by short-term motivation, right? There's something coming up. that has got them to take the step, and that is what's got them in the door. It could be their wedding coming up, or a swimsuit season, a vacation's coming up, something, a reunion, something they're trying. There's something coming up in their lives that they want fast results for, and they've tried and failed many times on their own. So they're coming to you to get this fast success. And while it's really rewarding to help people feel better about themselves going into this event, is equally devastating to see it just be temporary and feel like you did something
Yeah.
wrong. Um, and so I'm sure you have some stories of your own on that tough lesson learned as a personal trainer, going through that. But mine,
Yeah.
that definitely led to me changing my whole philosophy of personal training. So I'm an author. I have a book series, Make Fitness a Priority, and that was all kind of my shift when I first started my business, about how to help people look past that short-term goal that got them started, and how can we make this a long-term priority in your life. And that started as one book and went to two and three, and then a whole fitness community, about making fitness a long-term part of your life.
Yeah. I love all of that. And two things came up for me when you were speaking. Um, Specifically to the the quick fixes, like we're constantly on this quest. We do the quick fix and then we fail. But I put quotes because did we really fail or is it because we tried to do it quickly? So we're constantly quick fix, quick fix, quick fix. And so one thing I like to teach is if all you ever do is the quick fixes, the only thing you're ever going to get good at is the quick fixes. You're not going to get you're not going to get that long-term habits and behaviors in your body in order to, for longevity. And the other thing that came up kind of on the same topic is like a lot of times it's going to take so long. And I say to that, the time is going to pass anyway. So
Yeah.
how do you want to spend that time? Right?
I mean, man, we are, the instant gratification is, it's I feel like so much of our society has just taught us this. It's led us in this direction. Like so many phrases out there, like just it takes 21 days to build a habit. I mean, everyone's heard that before, and it's not true. It takes way longer
Yeah.
than 21 days to create a habit in something. But I feel like whoever coined that phrase, was they were going after our impatience, right? It's just like
Yeah.
21 days, 3 weeks is not very long. While we're in it, maybe it seems like a long time, but it's not very long at all. But I mean, 3 weeks is not long enough but so many people, because of phrases like that, they think that, they just got to be perfect for 21 days and then they're going to be able to go on autopilot and it's going to be just fine. And
Yeah.
that's not the case, unfortunately. It's going to take way longer than that. But there's two parts to that. There's that I always tell people that 21 days to build a habit, and break the news to you. That's not true. It's going to take way longer than that. It takes much
Mhm.
longer consistency for you to get habits built in yourself. But the part that's wrong in that statement, that 21 days to build a habit, that's alluding to you got to be perfect. That's making it sound like
Yeah.
you have to be perfect. That 21 days without mistakes. And there's nothing about making fitness a part of your life that means you have to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. That's why all fitness professionals hate New Year's resolutions, and as we help people set goals for a living, right? Though, so we should be on board, but we don't, because all we hear is negative stats. It's like you're doomed to failure if you're trying to make a New Year's resolution. You're going to fail.
Yeah.
I learned earlier this year that the second Friday in January is called National Quitters Day, and I didn't actually know that,
Mm.
but that's true. I'm not making
Wow.
that up. That's true. I had no idea, but that's an actual national holiday. And it's so irritating as a fitness professional, because you're making it sound like you're making part of the journey just seem like, something so negative. And everyone is
Yeah.
going to fail. You're going to miss a workout from time to time. You're
Mhm.
going to eat something you didn't plan on, or something's going to happen, and you're going to make a mistake. But it's inevitable. Everyone makes mistakes, and you shouldn't have the bar be to be perfect, because that's an impossible bar to reach. No one can reach that bar. Eventually, you're going to make a mistake, and it's really those mistakes, those days that you fail. Those are the days that set you up for long-term success, because you have a chance to learn from something and build and come back stronger. It's those days that you
Yeah.
fail, that you bounce back and get back on track. Those are the days that set you up for long-term success.
Yeah. And I I think the how do I want to phrase this? So like there's the failure and then there's the bounce back, and what we can focus on is how long between the bounce back and the failure. Like when that starts to shorten, that's to me when it starts to become more like embodied and ingrained in our everyday habit, like brushing our teeth.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, and it
we're
overflows
gonna
into
think about
other areas of
it.
our life, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Hmm.
When I competed in sports growing up, my dad always had a phrase like it's what you do next that counts with me. And so it would if I always especially wrestling the wrestling tournaments are the biggest because wrestling tournaments in high school and college everything is it's double elimination. So you lose once, but if I lost at the beginning, I did not ever want to lose, but if I lost, I could beat myself up forever about that loss, about that mistake that cost me that match. I could beat myself up forever so long that it would hurt my next match before the match even started because I would still be dwelling on this mistake. And he always has said it's what you do next that counts, and it's how fast you get over that that's in the past, can't do anything for you. How you going to bounce back and learn and do better? And I mean, because if I got over it, then I could come back and I could get third, and I did that a lot. But if I didn't, then I could lose the next match before I even stepped up there. Like we can let mistakes turn into multiple mistakes, and they can
Hmm.
keep bringing us down, or we could learn from them and let us build us back up.
Yeah. I think mistakes are awesome because of that.
Hmm.
You know, yeah,
Hmm.
it's just an opportunity to learn something about yourself and what you can do differently, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important to have a community because it's everyone's
Mm,
got to have community. They got to have people in your life that is on the same mission as you or are supportive of you. So that's why every like we have a fitness community at the fitnesspivot.com, and we always invite people over to that. Our Make Fitness a Priority community it started with, but we always, because I think it's Jim Rohn that said that you are the average of the five people around you, and
mhm,
a lot of times you start a fitness journey, and the other five people around you, they haven't started their fitness journey yet. Doesn't mean you have to cross them out of your life or anything like that, but it also it could mean that you're setting yourself up to fail a little bit if you only have that community because they may be dismissive of some of the successes that you have and that's
mhm.
going to demotivate you. It's like whenever you start a fitness journey, especially if it's a big one and the finish line is a long ways away, if you focus on that, you're never gonna get there. I mean, you have to celebrate every win along the way and stack those wins as you go to build your confidence and really to kind of get you to appreciate the journey. And you need to have a good group of people around you who are going to celebrate every win with you and not dismiss them like there's not a big deal. You want to be able to
Mhm.
celebrate every win, every milestone, every get, and then by stacking all those wins, it just builds the confidence up, and it's going to help you ultimately reach your goal. Is not the finish line. The goal is really becoming the person that's fit. You're trying to have an identity change, and you
Yeah.
can't do that if you're dismissing everything instead of building it up.
Yeah. I love that community piece too because like as humans we're built for connection, right? And it's so much harder to do anything and everything in isolation. And I say that, both from knowledge and from experience. Like when you're isolating it and not having that connection and what's the word? Communication with other humans,
Uh-huh.
like it's so much harder because then you end up going into your head, and going into your head alone is kind of like a dangerous neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
you don't have people on this with you, I mean, it can be a really lonely thing. And so, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, you don't need to do that. No one needs to do any of this by yourself. That's why,
Yeah.
I get to help people um improve their quality of life with fitness being their tool and the vehicle all the time, and that's really rewarding. But I mean, you don't have to hire a personal trainer to get results. I'm a resource for people, and I love being that. but there's so many resources when it comes to fitness.
Hmm.
No one should try to do this by themselves. You want to perhaps
Yeah.
surround yourself with other people on the same mission as you, whether it be, and that's what I think of with accountability. It's always that's part of the question I think whenever you start a fitness journey is, you got to figure out how fitness fits in your life when you're restarting. It's like it's probably not going to be the same way it
Hmm.
was the last time you were in good shape. Your life's different now. So how does it fit right now? But the other part is how much accountability do you need to be successful? And I think people
Hmm.
have a tough time with that accountability word sometimes. Like they think it's like a sign of weakness. Like we're asking for help. That's a sign of weakness. And I would challenge anyone that hears it and thinks that way to reframe the way they think it. Reframe the way they hear that. Accountability, I think it means what I think of it when I hear the word accountability, I think it means something means a lot to me. And the more important something is to you, whether if your fitness goals that you're starting, if they're very important to you, which we all know they are, then the more important something is to you, the more you should set yourself up for success. And adding more accountability in your life just increases that you're going to follow through with what you said you're going to, no matter what, no matter how tough life gets. Because there's going to be time that
Yeah.
you don't want to make the sacrifices. You don't feel like working out. You don't feel like staying on your plan. You don't feel like eating healthy. But if you have a workout buddy, if you have a workout community, if you have a group you go to, if you have gym friends that you see, that's everything is an extra layer of accountability that's just going to help ensure your success.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. I also like looking at it like it's an experiment because of the factor that we're all different, like experimenting with what you're eating, experimenting with the way you're moving. Like you're, not everybody's gonna like all the workouts. Like I see your background, I'm guessing that's you doing a lunge. I
Yeah.
freaking hate lunges. I stay away from lunges. But like,
Yeah.
just figuring out for you what's the movement that you're going to do, right? Because the
Hmm.
one that you're going to do is the one that's going to work for you rather than like like thinking you have to do this thing but you're never actually going to do this thing, then it's not going to work if you're not going to do it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
yeah,
lot to
just
that
looking at it
saying
like
that,
a whole experiment.
yeah, there's a lot to that saying that the best workout is the one you like the most. I mean, I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of there's a lot of truth behind that because that is the one you'll do the most probably. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So, my next question for you would be if somebody was coming to you either for the first time, they're just starting their, I like to call it a health adventure. They're just starting, or they have just, they're coming back to it after a long break. What would be your advice for them?
Yeah, I like the health adventure. I always use journey. I like that too. But yeah, that's a good word for your fitness journey, your fitness adventure. I like that. I think
Hmm.
whenever you're first getting started, you have to redefine what fitness means to you when you're starting. Because what fitness means to us, it changes as our life changes. Like when I first became a trainer and I was in my 20s, I lived right behind the gym. I was brand new to the city and I was single. I was brand new to the gym I was at. They already had 15 trainers. So I had all the time in the world. I worked out 2 hours a day every day. I was in great shape. And so right then it was more about being as ripped and as lean as I could be, and looking my best. Now, 20 years later, or a little more than that, it's more about how I can feel my best, more so probably than how I look. And so, but our definition changes. And so I really hit home to me. I was on a podcast a while back, and the host asked me that question: What's the definition of fitness? And it just kind of stumped me at first because no one ever asked me a question like it seems like such a basic question. When I got done with the interview, I asked my wife, what's the definition of fitness? And she responded by pulling her phone out and saying, Hey, Google, what's the definition of fitness? And so it made me laugh. It seems like such a basic question, but when I answered it completely different, because I basically just refused to answer. I mean, because I told the host, I mean, that's an answer I can only answer myself, but I can't answer that for everybody else. Everyone has
Mhm.
their own definition of fitness, and our definition changes. Like my definition now is much different than Chad of 20 years ago when he was working at 24 Hour Fitness. And so if that doesn't hit your ears right when you say what's the definition of fitness, then another way to say it is what does fitness mean to you right now? So I think you have to start your fitness journey, your fitness adventure by answering that question. What does fitness mean to me right now? So it could be it's weight loss. It could be it's strength training. It could be it's about confidence. It could be about holding your or and like handling your anxiety or your stress better, or being able
Mm-hmm.
to, fitness is my way of putting the oxygen on myself so I can show up as the best mom, as the best dad, as the best son, as the best husband as like that I can be for the people around me. So, but what does fitness mean to you right now? You have to know that before you're able to really use fitness as the vehicle to show up as the best version of yourself, you need to understand what it means to you. And I think that always starts with that because our definition of fitness changes over time. And if we're still trying to
Yeah.
do something that maybe was a perfect fit for us 20 years ago, but it's not right now, then it's not going to last. So, like, one thing I definitely know is the most important lesson I think I've ever learned as a personal trainer that's the hardest for us to grasp is just what you do for fitness has to fit in your life. So I mean, we can
Yeah.
force something to fit for a while that doesn't. If we're really wanting results really bad and we knew this worked in the past, we can force anything to fit for a while. But if it doesn't really fit, it's going to hurt everything else that's important to you in your life, your relationships, your family, your job, other things. And so if
Yeah.
it doesn't, and then eventually you'll realize that's the thing that doesn't fit and you'll be gone again. And you'll be back on this roller coaster of fitness just being in your life in spurts. So it starts by what does fitness mean to you right now? What do you want to get out of it? How does it fit in your life? That's where it starts for if you're trying to start a new journey.
Yeah. I really like that. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to add a piece to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where are you starting this adventure from? So, like, for me, when I was in my smallest body, I was over exercising, under eating, like 1,000 calories a day, 3 hours a day workout. The goal was to become as thin as possible because that's what seemed like the outside world wanted me to do. And um and I did it from this place of hate. Like, I hate my body, therefore I'm going to go do all these things so I can fix me because I'm broken and I
Mm,
hate it. And versus now when I move my body or I eat the things or I, get the sleep, whatever it is that's going to take care of my health, I'm doing it from a place of love. Like, I love me enough to take care of me so that I can take care of other people. And then, like, going back to that conversation, when life happens, put the oxygen mask on first. I'm going to do it from this place of love, and therefore I'm going to love on me by doing these things. So adding the piece to add to what you were saying is like, what mental space is your adventure starting from? Are you doing this from hate or are you doing this from love? So
oh
that's
yeah.
just my little two
That's
cents.
oh, that's great.
Because I think
Mhm.
I think so many of us do it from this place of hate. Like, I hate my body, and so I'm gonna train, 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 and then some of us get injured, some of us develop eating disorders, some of us, whatever the thing is. And I think, at least in my experience, coming from a place of love, I think I pay attention more to my body.
Yeah.
Um,
It's what makes you so much better of a
yeah,
fitness professional
and
going through that. You're on your own story too. I mean, all thoughts can be relearned, but you got to know the thoughts that are hurting you before you can relearn anything, right? I mean,
yeah.
mhm.
Well, I have one more question for you, and you may have already answered it. But if you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
That well, I maybe answered it already, but it could be said again. It's an
Okay.
important, but yeah, but I mean, I think the best piece of advice for anyone when it comes to fitness is that you don't have to be perfect. Is that this isn't about being perfect? It's about and you're not going to be, and so you're going to fail from time to time. Whenever you do make a mistake, just understand that mistakes are part of the journey. And the thing you should ask yourself is, you know, remind yourself is that it's what you do next that counts. You know, how am I going to learn from this? How am I going to get back on track and keep using fitness as the best vehicle I can to show up as the best version of myself.
Love it. Beautiful Beasts, Chad Austin signing off. Until next time.